Oh no, not you again.
Yes, it's me, and with the flick of my magic microphone, I will recite my spell on you. And now, you're no longer flesh and bone.
So, wait. I'm a cartoon?
Yes, it's a spell that I've been working on for months, just to show you.
Why though? Is this revenge?
You made me like chaos and disorder, and I had to get revenge. I also have a duty to ensure Prince's legacy stays exactly the same, and I can't have you going around telling people that albums that suck don't suck. Especially Emancipation Disc 3.
Oh, I get it. Disc 3 of Emancipation was about Prince's future, and all the things he hoped to achieve now that he'd finally left his old self behind.
Yeah, and when you go around making reviews of it, it just makes it more real. We can't have that, can we, Mr. Cartoon?
It's okay though, Rabbit 80s Prince fan. How about this? Let's go through the disc together, and I think you'll see that Prince wasn't as different from his old self as you might think.
I doubt you'll be able to convince me, but I'll entertain the idea, sure.
And if I convince you that that's true, can I no longer be a drawing?
I wouldn't hold your breath, though.
Good enough for me. I don't even know if I have breath since I'm a cartoon. Anyway, let's get to it. Hey everybody, a drawing of Prince's friend here, exploring music through Prince. As I stated earlier, Disc 1 was Prince's past, an acknowledgement that he needed to change his ways and settle down from his raunchy days. Disc 2 was Prince's present, where he saw the vehicle for his change in Maite, his new love, and he reveled in the love that they felt together. Now, we get into Disc 3, which represents Prince's future. Not only his future, but his vision of the future for the world. The album is pretty heady and aggressive, and yet has a beauty all its own. It's not as cohesive as Disc 1 and Disc 2, not really telling a straightforward story. At the same time, just listening to it, you can hear the beauty that he foretold for the world and what he hoped people would take from it. Let's jump into those tracks so I can no longer be a cartoon.
Everybody keeps trying to break my heart. Everybody except for me. I just want a chance to play the part of someone.
Before one can move forward, you have to recognize where you've been. Slave opens up Disc 3 wonderfully in that way, as a telling of what it felt like being a slave to the system. The imagery Prince includes on this song, such as the world unraveling, his need to keep dancing and ignore the pain he was experiencing, all of this fits perfectly and gets you into his mindset. Musically, this track is great. It's got some of my favorite Prince screams in it, and the percussion sounds like a full marching band. Prince spits his lyrics wildly, but with a rhythm that shows he's keeping it in line, as if someone is cracking a whip. I love it.
When the lights blur, every boy and girl, how we gonna make it in this brave new world? Love for one another.
Speaking of the future, New World launches into an aggressive electronic beat that speaks to how the world is changing so fast, but one thing stays the same: the fact that we have to love one another. When there's a pill for everything, love for one another. When gender doesn't matter, love for one another. When everything is screwed and you might be a cartoon, love for one another. It's the medicine that will sustain us in the new world, and he ain't wrong. I love this song musically because it feels like electronic funk with bluesy lyrics, but feels so modern as well. This is the track that I used to get my daughter into Prince, since she was really into dubstep back in the day, so I'm glad it stuck.
This is nothing like what 80s Prince would have done, Prince's friend. You're already losing me, and losing me is not good for your health.
Okay, let's get into a sexy song. I think that'll be more your speed.
Did you say sexy? Okay, carry on.
So I just want to state real quick that I actually love all 4 of the beginning tracks of this disc because they're just the perfect start to any album. The Human Body continues that with more electronic music, this time using voices as part of the beat, which I think is pretty cool. It's kind of the antithesis to New World in a way, as one song is talking about all of the futuristic advances, but this song reminds us how important the human body itself is, especially for sex. Because you know, It's Prince, and a lot of this song is instrumental, which makes it perfect for a dance party or just to jam out to.
Bury him face down, let the motherfuckers kiss her ass. Okay? Face down!
Dead like Elvis.
Face down!
Dead like Elvis.
So I'm gonna say this right now, Face Down is like one of the best Prince songs ever. I'm going to couch the full idea of that and make an entire video about it later on. But for now, know that this is an amazing rap song, delivered expertly by Prince, with all the anger and hatred of his critics relayed in his words. When he dies, he wants to be buried face down so they can kiss his butt. That sums up the song pretty well. It has an amazing guitar riffs, the horns are a weird keyboard zap, and everyone on the track is on their angsty best. When coupled with the video, this is one of my all-time faves, kind of a track that you never get tired of hearing. Now we leave the realm of anger and enter a really great cover of the Delphonics' La 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 Means I Love You. So why is this song here, on disc 3, in this position? Let me break it down. 1, it's kind of another slap at Warner Brothers. I'll do covers if I want, but while it was originally written as a love song to another person, I've kind of always interpreted it as Prince speaking directly to us. It comes right after Face Down, where he's pretty much telling off any of his critics, but then he turns to us and says, but I'm gonna keep making music, and every note of it is me telling you that I love all of my friends that much more. When you think about it that way, it really should make us appreciate Prince even more. Style is Prince directly giving some words of wisdom to us, you know, since he's a modern day sage and all. Style is a second cousin to class. It's the way that we all should be, and he lays out a number of things that reflect someone who has style and others that do not. My favorite line is, style is loving yourself until everyone else does too. That line right there has gotten me through a lot in life. It's why I don't mind being corny or not fitting in. If you are always just your authentic self, then that's just your style. Even if you're a cartoon. I'm a huge fan of the sax driving a lot of the track, and Prince barely sings the verses. Instead, he just kind of speaks them with a really cool, smooth voice. It's a really good song. Around is a unique song in terms of what it represents. There are tons of songs about cheating women and men, but this is the first one that I've ever heard that says, hey, you need to invest in your relationship and do it like she likes it to keep her interest. The it, in this case, is obviously sex, but could just as well expand to anything in the relationship. That said, I can't say that this is my 100% favorite on the disc. It sounds a little bit more disco than my ear likes, and the instrumental goes on for a bit longer than I like. This song is not bad by any means, though. It's a really good jam. Why are you crying?
It's just like the beautiful ones, and I always get all Apollonia when I think of that song.
Well, it's similar, but less please don't go, and a little more if you go, it's likely because of something I did or didn't do, and I accept responsibility.
There's no singing right to her as she sits in the middle of a crowd, and there's no other way that anybody could think that you're singing about anybody else, so it's an attempt to embarrass her just because she would think that she might find happiness with somebody else that's not you?
Not really. It's a more mature approach to the same subject matter.
Who are you calling immature?
Not you?
Watch out, I'm trying to get my shit together.
Prince brings in rapper Scrap D one more time to construct a rap about what it means to be a black man trying to live in this world. I actually really dig the rap itself, and the chorus is catchy. I think it was smart to bring in someone closer to the subject matter than Prince himself, since none of what is in the verses is an authentic experience if it was to come from Prince. He does come in at the end to bring his patented positivity, giving us all hope that we can get over all of these obstacles. Musically, the song doesn't necessarily do it for me, but content-wise, I dig it.
I scan my computer looking for a site. Somebody to talk to, funny and bright. I scan my computer looking for
This is a great song about the internet. Now remember that Emancipation was released in 1996, and personal computers became a worldwide phenomenon in 1997. I didn't get my first one until 1998. So in my computer, Prince is scouring the BBS boards, looking for friends. He sees the terrible things in the world and escapes into his computer to find friends to commiserate with, or just to have a moment to forget about his troubles. It's a testament to Prince hearing music in anything, as he uses a lot of computer sounds from AOL in the music. It does date it a little bit, but it's still a great song. Now we get to the final cover of Emancipation. It's high on the list of great covers in my opinion. Prince took a song I actually really liked from singer Joan Osborne and elevated it to magnificence. The original version is your typical mid-90s grungy, melancholy song, sung pretty well, but Prince borrows a beat from an unreleased song called Love, Thy Will Be Done, and layers some really cool guitar mastering on top of it for good measure. The song exemplifies Prince, so it's obvious why he chose it. The lyrics ask you to question your belief structure and challenges the listener to ask themselves deep questions. Prince is asking us to consider our relationship with God. Wonderful song, an even better cover.
And this is a cover? It sounds like a slower Let's Go Crazy. It sounds so Prince.
Exactly. But instead of using metaphor of elevators, he's just coming right out and saying it, even if he is using someone else's words.
It's actually kind of beautiful.
Beautiful?
No! It's not the 80s. I was not going to say beautiful. You almost had me there, but I'll never concede that Emancipation is anything but trash.
There's 2 more tracks, and they are doozies. Let's see if you stick to that idea.
Precious is the baby with a mother that tells him that his savior is coming soon.
Following One of Us, which stated that God ain't at home, we get one of Prince's best messages in his role as a sage. You can't depend on anything else in this world to make it better. The only love there is the love that we make. Everything you put out into the world needs to be positive. Love for one another if we're going to move forward. The core of the song is Prince and his piano, but layers in amazing strings and a pounding drum for depth. It goes from soft at the beginning to orchestral at the end, and it's one of the best songs Prince has ever written, an open call to the world to do better. I don't have enough great things to say about this song.
That's ambition. Free to do what I want. That's ambition. See when the purple rain. That's ambition. Free to do what I want.
And that brings us to the finale of Disc 3, but also the finale of Emancipation as a whole. And honestly, I can't think of a better song for us to end on than Emancipation. He sings about how he's always wanted more, he's always strived to be his best, how there's always been chains on him, keeping him from doing that. But now, he's free to do anything he wants. It's a song of optimism and wonder. The possibilities for Prince are endless. This is the perfect ending to this album, which is setting him along a new path of his career and personally. Jam of the Year has to start Emancipation, and it has to end with Emancipation. It's not as focused as Disc 1 or Disc 2, which sought to tell specific types of stories. Disc 3 of Emancipation is less a story and more a smattering of different ideas about what people need to do as we approach the future. It's a mix of love, sex, technology, spirituality, and it's all a roadmap that Prince set out for us to follow to lead to a better future. But it's also kind of the same stuff Prince has been singing about his whole career, love for one another being a large theme that has carried on for years. It was much of the same stuff that he sang about during Purple Rain.
I'm sorry, did you say Purple Rain? I was staring off because you were boring me to tears. You talk too much.
Sure. I hope that you understand Emancipation a little bit more now.
Actually, I hate to say it, but Emancipation is kind of okay. It made me dance. It made me nostalgic for old times. It even made me excited to hear the next track and hear what Prince was gonna do next. When this album came out, I saw so many songs, and none of them were 80s songs, and I just didn't give it a shot. I'm kind of glad that I turned you into a cartoon and tried to ruin your life in an effort for you to have to drag me through this album.
So, can you fix me now?
A deal is a deal. I just have to say different magic words.
Wow, thanks.
Don't thank me. Our business isn't done. And if you tell anybody that I even remotely liked Emancipation, you can expect to be turned into something much, much worse.
Alright, well, as long as I'm me for the final review.
I'm out of here. I'm just done talking with you at all.
No one saw Emancipation coming, for some in a good way and others not so much. Some say that this is 3 hours of music that's mostly filler. It's just not Prince, he lost his edge. And others, who take the time to appreciate what Emancipation represents, think this is a wonderful exploration of different musical styles, expressed from a man who is truly in a good place in his business, personal life, and spirituality. It is a lot of music, some of which will appeal to one person, and other tracks that will appeal to someone else entirely. It's definitely not just one note, but it's all good, and it's all timeless. And there's a reason why it was special for Prince. It was him in that particular place at that particular time in his life. It represents all the best and the worst of this beautiful man, and all of the aspirations that he wanted for his life and his career. And I couldn't wait to go with him. So hopefully you enjoyed my review of Emancipation Disc 3. I would love to hear any thoughts that you have on Disc 3, and any final thoughts that you have about Emancipation as a whole. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media. Both our Twitter and our Instagram are at PrincessFriendYT. Check out the Patreon at patreon.com/princessfriend, and everybody be happy that you're not a drawing. It's very itchy. May you live to see the dawn. I can't wait for the next big Prince review.
Also, even though you suck, congrats on 15,000 subscribers.